Ladies and gentlemen, this RedGamingTech.com video, we have some news that Intel are going to be delaying the Broadwell architecture until 2015. Instead, we're going to be seeing a Haswell refresh for 2014. So why is the delay happening? Well, apparently Intel are having problems with the rather large die shrink from the 22nm all the way down to 14. So what exactly will this refresh entail? Well, it's going to be very similar to what AMD and of course Nvidia do with their graphics cards in terms of their refreshes. So very similar, for example, with the latest GeForce 700 series. It's very much similar and based upon the same design of, say, the 600 series, but there have been numerous improvements to it. Reports also show that Intel are trying to focus on their mobile offerings because right now they're all on the 32nm processor, and obviously that's pretty damn large considering that, as I said, on desktop we're looking at 22nm. So the 22nm quad core tablets are geared towards Atoms and laptops and so forth, are going to be released on the market this year, and apparently they're going to be under 18 watts in terms of power requirements as well, which is pretty darn good. Intel also wanted to hit back with their Extreme Edition processors. Right now, the previous generation of Extreme Editions, such as the Sandy Bridge, are becoming old and they're actually falling behind the performance in most things to the later generation of processors that are actually cheaper. So obviously Intel need to do something about that because it looks bad on them, for one. Even a Haswell E will be released. It seems that this is going to be released until some point late next year, likely half two, maybe the third quarter. So just what type of performance are we going to be seeing with the Haswell E chips? Well, for one, it's going to offer an octa-core, so that's 16 threads because they are going to be hyper-threaded now. If you've not quite got the wallet for that, there is also going to be a hexa-core, which means 12 threads, of course, including hyper-threading. Both of these, by the way, will support PCIe 3 graphics cards, 4 of them, which is pretty darn impressive. And the Haswell E will also support the 4th generation of double data memory. So you're actually looking at DDR4, which is up to 2133 MHz. This is actually much better even than the Ivy Bridge E because that's only DDR3. So what about the graphics solution on them? Quite simply, there isn't one. These CPUs are basically used for high-end gamers, so in other words, the ones of us who want the absolute best for the gaming rigs, or who, for example, do a whole lot of encoding and that type of thing. Therefore, there isn't really a need for the built-in graphics solutions of their cheaper cores. Therefore, it's going to be focused on the best CPU performance possible. As for overclocking, we're not really sure. The slides are showing that it's going to be running at 3 GHz, but it's likely that they're going to be able to run a lot faster than that because they are saying, the slide rather, that more overclocking options for professional and home users, which doesn't really give you that many details, but it does give you an idea of what they're going for. By the way, the average clock speed for many Haswells right now, I'm talking about the quad-core derivatives, are around 3.7 GHz. Now obviously AMD are not quiet here. We know that they are also readying to release a new architecture, so it's up in the air right now who's going to own the desktop space. Personally, I was actually going to be buying a Haswell processor myself, but I think I'm going to wait for a little bit and see just what's going on because the markets are very volatile. Right now, of course, PCs are actually having a little bit of a resurgence. Why? Because of the issues with DRM on consoles, of course, as well as various other bits and pieces. People really want to just get away from that, and so of course PC is one of the logical ways to do that. Plus, of course, PC parts are becoming quite cheap. So doesn't mean that we're going to see PCs become ridiculously popular or anything, but it certainly is a good resurgence, and one of the reasons that Intel are going to be focused heavily on the Extreme Editions. Anyway, I think that just about does it for this particular video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it and putting up a little bit of my hay fever. Sorry about that. But I will see you soon. Take care and bye for now.